Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this morning's development seminar. So we are going to be discussing the power of the DuePoint app this morning, more from a perspective of business instead of how do I use the app. And so this morning we're going to be discussing really embracing the power of having wealth in the palm of your hand, and that is the DuePoint app. And so, as I said, this is not so much a walkthrough of the functionality of the phone. We'll be providing training shorts for that. But what we want to be discussing is really what is the fundamental purpose of the DuePoint mobile application. The purpose has to be that it has to help you in building your channels. It has to be a tool that you can use to create wealth for yourself. And so this morning we are going to be looking at aspects of business and how that is supported by using the app to your advantage. And so as we go through this, I want you to bear in mind that this development seminar is typically going to be aimed at new wealth engineers that are getting involved in the business, that are new to the DuePoint app, as well as those wealth engineers that perhaps haven't been as engaged as they should have been, and they want to get stuck back in, and they really want to become focused and prioritize the business and be able to use the DuePoint app to its best ability. And so the first thing we're going to be discussing is that DuePoint is a barrier to entry. So this, you might be thinking, well, how is the DuePoint app a barrier to entry, and how does that help business? So you will know if you've gone out and prospected, tried to get people interested in the DuePoint business, and perhaps they've shown interest and even joined the business, that there's a percentage of them that either don't even pay in their first month, or they pay in their first month and then they fail to pay in their second month, or they join the business and they don't do anything. We've got this natural fall off in the business, but that's certainly a number that we should never be happy with. We should always strive to improve that number. And one of those ways is about understanding the quality of your prospect. And now that's not an indictment on the quality of them as a human being. It is an assumption that we make in terms of whether they have the resources to thrive in the DuePoint business, right? So there are a number of resources that you need to become, or at least to thrive as a DuePoint wealth engineer. Number one is you need a smartphone, ideally, right? And that's why we say this is a barrier to entry. Because if you don't have a smartphone, well, that might signify to me as a wealth engineer who's prospecting you, well, perhaps you don't have the resources to thrive in this business. DuePoint has invested heavily in technology. Why? Because it sets us apart from our competition, and it also puts us on the forefront of how businesses had to adapt within a business environment. And that's really been proven over the last 3 months. As we've experienced lockdown, you've seen that DuePoint has been able to thrive. Why? How so? Because all our business, our product distribution, our business enablement is done on a mobile platform. It's in the cloud, so to speak. And so we haven't suffered from these restrictions. And so when you go out prospecting and you're looking at getting someone into the business, it should be a red flag to you when they say to you, sorry, I don't have a smartphone. I can't download the DuePoint app. And so already the DuePoint app is a barrier to entry to help you understand who are better quality prospects rather than those who don't have the resources to do this business. So pay attention to that. Then the DuePoint app serves as credibility for the business, because it is a wonderful tool that easily demonstrates what we're doing here at DuePoint, and you get to show that off. Any transaction that ever takes place requires trust to be involved in that transaction. And so when you are prospecting and you're trying to get people to just look at DuePoint, the one thing you have to achieve is to get them to trust not only you, but the business that you're speaking about. And the DuePoint app is a wonderful tool in being able to showcase, being able to demonstrate that DuePoint is a business that's been around for a long time. You get to show off all the aspects and the achievements of DuePoint and the people involved at DuePoint, because words will never ever suffice. You'll notice that I often say in the intro presentations, never take my word for it, right? Go do your own research. You have to see the evidence of business to be able to find a business reputable or credible. And so you've got to do that for yourself. And But as someone who's prospecting other individuals, you have to be able to demonstrate that. So how do you demonstrate it when you can't bring people to the head office, or they don't really feel like wanting to watch an intro presentation yet? You do it very easily and very quickly by just demonstrating what we have in the DuePoint app, because it showcases a lot of aspects of DuePoint's business. So, number one, we're going to look at my phone over here. So very quickly, you can show people on Android and Apple devices. Go into the App Store. Go into the App Store. Every single South African with a smartphone has already got DuePoint on their phones. They just have to install it, right? So you can say, type in DuePoint, you'll see the app come up. That already is some credibility. How many businesses have got applications, right? Mobile applications, not many. So you're able to showcase that. Then you can go into the app and you can play around with the app. Hopefully you've got a nice big number that shows you how much money you're earning. You can show that off. You can show them last month. You can go into our events. You most certainly want to be able to show off our gallery, because that's really a showcase of people achieving. So if we go into the gallery, there you can see you've got a number of gallery items, our award ceremony, the Rank 9 trips. Let's jump into one of the Rank 9 trips. That's always a wonderful showcase of what is in store for wealth engineers who are achieving. You can show them all the people on the Rank 9 trip. You can show them the children on the Rank 9 trip. Remind them this is a family-orientated business. This business is designed to change not only your life, but the lives of your families. Look at the destinations that DuePoint takes you. You can go to the XP Rewards program. You can show off the Achiever Quest, the ability to make 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 Rand in your first month. You can go into all the different rewards in the XP Rewards program, and it'll show you up to rank 11. There's a R250,000 Rand car available. Go into the tools, show them the development platform. There are so many aspects in the mobile app that you can show off, right? There are so many aspects in the DuePoint app that you can show off. You want to be purposeful and intent about showing all those aspects off. Don't ever take for granted that people trust what you're saying. Right? People won't object. They will listen to you and they'll make their own mind up. So you want to make sure that you are able to show them the credibility and the reputation of the business, and that's by just going through the app initially. Right? Then later on, you can show off the intro presentations. You can go send them to the Facebook page. You can show them the website. You can go into all the other stuff. But the DuePoint app is a great starting point for being able to show off the business very quickly and simply. Then one of the other aspects of the DuePoint app that you really want to be making use of is being able to interpret the data, the information that the app gives you with regards to your channel. All right, so that's very important, because your qualified channel is what determines how much you're going to be earning from the business and whether you are ranking up or not. And so you want to be able to understand what that data means, and all the challenges, the opportunities that lie there within. You want to certainly be able to tell what's going on your first point, because remember, your first point are the people that you've personally introduced to DuePoint. These are people that you are almost responsible for, right? These are the people that can unlock the leverage in your business. So you want to be able to look at your first point in particular. So on your home page within the app, you will see that you're presented with the current month. You've got a drop-down menu over here that says qualified channel, right? So we're on qualified channel. So this shows you your entire qualified channel, right? Note, I don't say channel, I'm saying qualified channel. You need to understand what a qualified channel is. If you don't know what a qualified channel is, go to the training shorts, go look up one of the training shorts called How Do I Qualify? That'll explain to you what a qualified channel is. But you basically have three parts to your qualified channel. Those people who have paid successfully. You've got your pending debits. Those are the debits that still have to be done in the month. So we are, 2/3 into the month currently. So there's still a third of the month. A lot of debit orders happened at month end. So we're waiting for those to happen. And then we've got failed debit orders. And then BPQ is a quotient of failed debit orders out of all the debit orders. So you want that number to be as high as possible. You want your BPQ to be high, not low. That's a number you can always pay attention to. And then you've got how many new applications you've had in your entire channel, how many people have cancelled or lapsed out of the business in the given month, and how many have reinstated, right? So that's fairly basic information to understand. What you probably need to understand when you look at data like this is that because we get delayed information from the banks, that the information is not accurate completely. So there's a little bit of a lag that happens with regards to the data. So you'll hear many of the wealth engineers saying that at the end of the month, they still wait for their numbers to stabilize. What they're waiting for is for the accurate debit order information to come through to the banks and be represented in their channel data. So be aware of that, right? Then I said to you, we need to look at first point data. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the drop down, especially for new people. You want to see what's happening with your first pointers, and you just click on your first point, right? So now we are presented with only our first pointers. And again, how many of them have paid successfully? How many outstanding debits we're still waiting for? How many failed debits there are? But you're able to now drill down into exactly who those first pointers are. And so that's very valuable information, right? So if I click that, you're going to see all these people listed as my first pointers. And if you know anything about a qualified channel and qualified wealth engineers, you know that these qualified wealth engineers, the people who have qualified in their own right, those people open up your qualified channel. And so you want to be able to always quickly be able to reference who's qualified, who's close to becoming qualified, right? That's very important because you're able to then focus some attention on those people. Let's say they've got 2 people in their business, they only need a 3rd person and then they're going to become qualified. And that qualified wealth engineer is going to open an extra point in your qualified business. And so it's very valuable to be able to understand who's doing what on your first point. You most certainly want to look at who's failed their debit orders, right? So if I just click on failed debits, it'll show me who's failed their debit order in the current month. You want to go speak to that person. You understand why did they fail the debit order. Not so that you can chase them up to pay their debit order, so that you can understand why you prospected a person who ended up not paying for their product anyway. In other words, that was wasted time on your part. And so understand the data, interpret the data so that there is use to you from a business point of view. It's not just about going through the data and reflecting on it. It's about using and interpreting the data so that you can better and more effectively build your channel next month. Then most certainly you want to maximize your returns. Maximizing returns is by understanding how many open points you have. Again, so if I click on the drop down, you will see in this example, out of the 11 points of our channel size that we have, 8 points are open, 3 are closed. That means we have 8 wealth engineers who are qualified on our first point. Right? That means there is still potential to earn on the remaining 3 points. That means we need another 3 qualified wealth engineers on our first point. And so you want to be purposeful and intentful about finding those 3 people so that you can maximize the returns that you are receiving from DuePoint. You most certainly, and in some cases, we've got wealth engineers who have got these huge channels, beyond point 10, and they've only opened up 1 point or 2 points. They are losing out on so much potential with regards to how much they could be earning at DuePoint. And so when we talk about maximizing returns, it's about understanding where the opportunities lie within your business to maximize as much money out of DuePoint as possible. And then with regards to the challenges involved in the business, BPQ is a challenge to many wealth engineers, right? When that BPQ quotient drops below 75%, that's problematic because that's telling you that 25% of your month was wasted prospecting people that never pay for their products. That's an absolute waste of time, right? So you always want to understand what that BPQ number is, understand why it is where it is, right? So it starts dropping below 75%. You want to understand why. It's a question that can often cause us to want to pull our hair out, but it's still something that we have to turn our attention to and try remedy. So even here, 96.5% BPQ, there's still room to improve that by another 3.5%, right? But 96% is an awesome BPQ to have. Understand that your BPQ is, if you click on qualified channel, your BPQ represents only your first 2 points. Right, so that 95% is for point 1 and 2. So that is certainly a challenge that every wealth engineer has, something we turn our attention to and try fix. Again, am I prospecting the wrong type of person? Am I prospecting people that have the resources to do DuePoint? Have I done a good enough job in showing people how wonderful, how much potential how much opportunity lies within DuePoint. Are they prioritizing DuePoint? If they're not paying for their product, they are not prioritizing DuePoint, right? So not always can we dismiss them. Oh, they were just a bad quality prospect. Maybe we're not doing a good enough job in getting them to understand that this business should be prioritized above almost everything else. And then finally, you want to be able to measure your progress. So the app allows you to do that. If I swipe to my left, you see I go 2 months back, I can go to last month, I can go to the current month. This allows me to see what my progress has been over the last couple of months, understand where the challenges and opportunities lie, readdress your plan, and see if you improve. That is progress, right? Even if you go backwards, if you learn something in going backwards, well, that's progress. And so you want to be able to interpret the data so that you're able to become a more effective channel builder in our business. One of the biggest uses within the DuePoint app is the ability to manage your prospects, right? So especially since people have been prospecting online, they've been dealing with large volumes of the amount of people that they are prospecting. And so we've built a tool within the DuePoint app that allows you to manage those prospects. And we've made improvements to that tool. So if you click on the Connect tab, it'll bring you into the Connect page with the new application button and the prospect button. You can click on the prospect button or swipe to your right, it'll go into prospects. And here you have the ability to add prospects, right? So if you click on the add button, you'll see the typical fields for capturing someone's details. One of the most important details you want to collect, at least, is finding out what that person's specific needs are. So there's a text field within that capture form asking what are the specific needs of that prospect. That's very important to understand, right? That goes to one of the basic principles of prospecting, is being able to cater the benefits of DuePoint to the need that that prospect has. Don't assume that every prospect just needs money, right? You want to understand specifically what drives those people, and you want to be able to specify what their specific needs are so that you can speak to that need all the time, right? That'll really speak to the person's heart. People make decisions based on emotion more so than logic. And so you want to speak to that emotion always. And then you have the ability to search through your prospects. So if you are one of our wealth engineers who are prospecting actively on social media every day, and you've got 80 to 100 new contacts that you're trying to capture every single day, then the search functionality becomes very important. So if you click on search, you're able to filter your search results according to various statuses. So you can list everyone that you need to follow up with. You can list the people that you want to follow up with later. There's a list called Do Not Contact. Your favorites, people who have joined, you won't be contacting them so much because you'll already know their phone numbers. But then you also have lapsed and cancelled. So that is opportunity for you to prospect people back into the business, right? Especially since DuePoint is launching new products all the time. Their circumstances might change, and so they might be prime people to reinstate with time. And so just by using the search functionality within your prospecting tool, you are able to actively manage your prospects responsibly. Always remember that you cannot distribute your contact list, right? Your prospecting list is yours. We need to abide by POPI regulations and your code of conduct regulation. And so bear in mind, you cannot keep record of your prospects and you cannot distribute those records of your prospects. Keep them within your phone and manage them responsibly. The purpose of the app is really to keep wealth engineers engaged in the business. The more time spent with DuePoint, the more likely those people are going to remain committed to the business. And so it serves purpose not only for yourself, but for everyone in your channel. And so it's very important to stay engaged and up to date with what's happening at DuePoint. We're a very active business. We're very active on social media and all the online platforms, especially now under lockdown. And so how do we keep abreast of that? By using the app, or being aware of what's going on within DuePoint by using the app. So very easily, when you open your app, you're typically going to be presented with a screen that looks like this, your notices. So notices are DuePoint's communication to all our wealth engineers, to the entire business, of up and coming events or just notices that we send out. So you'll be presented with this when you open up your app. right? Typically, we broadcast all the live intros that we do, the development seminars, and then any other important news that goes out. So some of the functionality that exists within a notice like this, because it's a live intro, there is a big watch live at 2 p.m. button. You can click on that, which will link you directly to that intro presentation. You also have a little share button. If you click on the share button, it will come up with all the typical applications that allow you to share that notice. So you can send that quite easily to your friends and prospects. And then if you want to delete that notice very easily, you just click on the little close button at the top. Some of the notices that get sent out have automatic expiry dates. So live intros, those notices will expire automatically after 24 hours and they will delete themselves. And then, of course, you can click on the events tab. So if you click on the events tab, by default, you'll be taken to the upcoming events, and that will showcase all the upcoming events for the next couple of months. And so you are able to very easily marry your diary into DuePoints. You want to be able to do that, right? If you're planning ahead, you want to be able to understand what DuePoint's going to be doing in the coming months, especially when the lockdown ends and we're able to carry on with those boost events, the national encounters. You want to be able to plan your year around those events so that you can maximize the return on those events for the sake of yourself and your channel. And so again, this functionality in each of these events, you can click on the watch button, you can click on the scan button if you come to head office, and that also awards you with XP. So those are just examples of how to stay up to date with DuePoint. But what about opportunities to contact your first pointers and prospects, right? So there's lots of opportunity around there. Again, it's all about engagement. The more often you're able to engage effectively with people that you're prospecting or people on your first point, the better you're going to do at being able to build your channel. And so what opportunities present themselves? So we've already spoken about the notices, right? So you can speak to people about upcoming events. But there's also lots of opportunity whenever we load a brand new development seminar or a new Q&A on the app. That is opportunity for you to share that information. And so if you click on tools, you will see all the content that we produce. It's typically all video content. You can see there's a drop-down menu there. Lots of opportunity to be able to share knowledge with prospects and first pointers, right? Again, it's all about engagement. It's about the opportunity to speak to people and give them valuable information. You don't want it to be arbitrary. You always want it to be of value. And so you want to share that information as much as possible. And that just allows you to keep up to date with the people in your business, right? You want to keep up to date with the business, but also with the people in your business. When you get to speak to them, you get to understand what's happening in their lives, and you get to speak into that need always, right? Whether they're first pointers or prospects, even your first pointers, if you are connected to those individuals, you're able to have a better working relationship with those individuals. And then we get on to personal and channel growth. So you might be thinking, well, this is actual channel growth, the physical growth of my channel. No, it's not. This is the growth of mindset. This is about learning. This is about developing your effectiveness personally as well as the effectiveness of your channel, right? So this is a very valuable aspect of the business. It is something that perhaps some people don't embrace. We get some people that arrive in the business and they think they know what they're doing. They've done the business like this before, right? That already is a mistake because there is no business like DuePoint. And so you most certainly want to be able to embrace this open mindset of wanting to improve yourself from a self-development point of view. And also you want your channel, your first pointers, everyone that gets involved in the business to embrace that same principle. Because if you can do that, then you're going to have people involved in the business that want to learn so that they can become more effective. They will become more effective because they have that intent. And so you'll have a more effective business that grows faster, that embraces leverage. And so personal and channel growth is something that you want to have part of your plan. How is that reflected in the DuePoint app? Well, very easily. The XP Rewards program is exactly that. So if you click on the Rewards tab, let's go back to quests. So that's typically what you'll be presented with when you click on rewards for the first time. It is a list of 24 XP quests, right? These are XP quests that are designed to help you build your channel more effectively. And so if you go through each one of these quests, you can click on them. It'll tell you, give you a brief description of what they are. It'll tell you how to earn XP, the bonus XP involved. And so if you're able to go through those quests, challenge yourself to complete the quests, it'll help you build your channel, right? What happens in the process is that you start to learn different aspects, different principles, different skills in being able to build your channel effectively. And you need to pass that on to your channel, right? Otherwise it's worth nothing to you. You don't want to be doing this on your own. And so by going through the XP Rewards program, if you swipe to the right, you will see the rewards available for you at each of the ranks. It'll tell you what the criteria is for each of those ranks. And if you swipe again, it'll tell you how much XP you get awarded when you hit each of the ranks. So many of the wealth engineers aspire to getting to rank 9. That's a wonderful rank to aspire to, a recurring trip for your entire family, 5-star, all expenses paid trip. Go look at what the requirements are. Make sure that it is on, it's in your planner. When are you going to get to rank 9? When do you hope to get to rank 9? When do you expect to get there? Always have a plan with regards to what you want to achieve in the business so that you're intent every single day about reaching that goal. And then also within the tools is all about personal and channel development. So if you go into tools, it is made up of a drop-down menu, getting started, the basic series, that's for new people. Once you get to rank 4 and above, we open up a brand new series called the Generator series that is for those individuals only. We've got short specials, and then a new section that we've added to the app is called FAQs, where we've been able to do interactive live Q&As on our Facebook platform that is very informative. Why? Because it's not just Rob and Brendan speaking. We have a wealth engineer guest with us in each one of those sessions that gets to share real on-the-ground experience of building a channel with DuePoint. And so if you delve into the tools, you can also swipe to the right. There's a couple of links to the intro presentations. If you swipe again, there's a couple of files that you're able to download to submit business cards. There's a 30-day planner in there. But typically under development, all the development seminars, all the Q&As, the special interviews that we've had over time, right? There's 4 years worth of video content there. There is so much valuable information there to make you an expert at being able to do this business. And the beautiful thing is that you are rewarded for the leverage, for the sharing of that information. If you can get your first pointers to embrace the learning, the open mindset that you have, you will get to enjoy leverage in this business, and that's when your channel grows exponentially along with the DuePoint return that you're earning every single month. And so this is a very important aspect. It's often an aspect that is avoided by many wealth engineers because people think, especially when you're an old man like me in my mid-40s, you think you've learned everything in life, right? That's a terrible mindset to have. You must always be open to learning. A wise man once told me when I started working, he said to me, when you work for somebody, they either better be paying you a lot of money or you better be learning a lot from them, right? If you can't answer either one of those, you're in the wrong job. You need to move along. And that is something I've embraced. Either I need to be paid a lot of money or I need to be learning. I've been learning for the last 25 years. I'm still waiting to earn the big money. But at DuePoint, you get to embrace both. You get to learn and earn money along your way. And so you often hear a lot of the wealth engineers say they're looking for people with an open mindset, right? Because there's nothing worse getting someone in that you can see so much potential in, but they absolutely refuse to learn about a new business, a new methodology of working, especially today. A lot of us have been forced to now seek ways of prospecting online, right? In the past, we say, no, online's not for me, Facebook is not for me, social media is for the kids. And now suddenly we're forced to embrace this, right? Embrace it from the beginning. It'll be a lot easier on you. And DuePoint will do everything to support you with regards to your personal development and being able to share that around the entire country with your channel. You don't even have to be in the same town as your first pointer. You could be 1,000 kilometers apart. DuePoint is able to help develop those individuals regardless of where they are. And then we get to the boring part of the DuePoint app, the administrative functions, but with lots of purpose. They might be boring, but there's a lot of purpose in these functions, administrative functions. Number one, you get to be able to add a product into your business. You can do reinstatements. That's probably the most valuable, the ability to do a reinstatement. And then do some minor editing to your personal details. So if you click on your menu button on the top left corner, you will see all the functionality appear to you with regards to products. You've got your notices, you've got preferences. So if we click on preferences, you can hide your earnings. So if you're showing the app to someone and you don't want them to see your earnings, you have the ability to hide your earnings. You can turn on projected returns, right? If you want to see a really big number, if you want to see your maximum potential at the beginning of the month, turn on projected returns. It'll assume all your pending debits or successful debits. So that can be very exciting, but a bit misleading. And then obviously the ability to turn on emails and SMSs or turn them off, but keep them on always. You have got information around each of the products that you have. So all your product documentation is behind those product buttons. And then very importantly, you've got the ability to add a product very simply, right? Because we've already got your banking details and all of that. Click add product, and all you have to verify is your product choice, and suddenly you've got a new product. And then very importantly is the ability to reinstate. So one of the most important aspects, or at least administrative functions within the app, is the ability for wealth engineers to reinstate their products very simply, right? So if I've lapsed or I've cancelled my product, I've still got the DuePoint app installed. I load up the app, I log in. It's automatically going to detect that I don't have an active product, and it's going to ask me if I would like to activate that product again. In a couple of short clicks, all I say is yes. It'll ask me which product I want to reinstate. It'll reconfirm my banking details, because remember, we've got that information already, my address details. And so within 2 or 3 clicks, you've reinstated. So when you go look at wealth engineers who have cancelled or lapsed out of your business, know how simple it is for them to reinstate, right? Especially with DuePoint launching new products all the time. And we know that our circumstances change all the time. Those people that have left the business are always prospects for you. Right? So you can always go back to those individuals and find out if they want to get back into the DuePoint business and take full advantage of everything that DuePoint offers. And then, of course, you have the ability to click on Edit My Profile. You can edit your personal details. So for any sensitive information that needs to change, you need to phone client service, right? So if you want to change banking details or debit order dates and that you need to phone client service, because they will do a security check with you when they make changes to those details. You would have noticed yesterday, on Friday, the latest app came out. So we do development to the app constantly. So you should be updating your app at least every 2 weeks. So always be aware of the updates available for DuePoint's app. I'm going to go through some of those latest updates, because some of them are pretty important. So number one, the Prospect Manager search functionality. So in the past, you could only search for a person's name within your Prospect Manager, right? So if we go to Connect, if we go to Prospect, search prospects, you're now able to filter those results based on their status. And that's very valuable, because if I want to just focus on prospecting people who have cancelled or lapsed, right, I've got a whole list of them that I can work through now. If I want to connect with people that have a status that has been labeled follow up now, I want to be able to see a list of those. So you'll see that the statuses for each prospect have been updated to follow up later. Those are people that perhaps aren't showing interest immediately for DuePoint. So they're kind of lukewarm, but you certainly want to be able to keep in contact with those individuals, maybe on a monthly basis or a bi-monthly basis. Then anyone who joins your business, so a prospect who joins, will automatically become joined. For those individuals, before the update, you might have had a whole bunch of first pointers that aren't on your prospect list. You will see now that you have the ability to connect those people into your Prospect Manager. So you will see on your prospect page, you've got a drop down called First Pointers. Click on that. And here you're able to click on the button Link to Contacts. It will save that first pointer into your Prospect Manager, right? Why is that valuable? Because what happens is if that person lapses or cancels, you'll be able to see them in your cancelled or lapsed list within your prospects. So that becomes very valuable. Do not contact. Those are for people that say, burn my phone number, get rid of it, don't ever contact me again, right? So those people you can label as do not contact. And then finally, we've got cancelled and lapsed. That will happen automatically. So once our system on our side, after we do our consolidation in the middle of the month, any lapses or cancels will then get reflected into the prospect manager. And so you are able to follow up with those individuals in time. As I said, our circumstances always change. All right, so we've gone through a few of those updates already. Some minor updates that we've done to the gallery. So if we click on gallery, view gallery, and if you click on any of these pictures, you can now save the picture. That is of value. I had a little chuckle when one of the wealth engineers called their collection of DuePoint photos their celebrity pack. That's a great explanation of it, your celebrity pack, right? And so out of the gallery, you can save your images. You can also swipe images. Before you'd have to close and go back to the gallery. Now you can just swipe through the images and you can save any of those images to your gallery. And then when you are taking a selfie, you are able to choose from gallery. Before you'd have to take a new photo every time. So now if you've got a beautiful photo that you've been using for the last year, you are very easily able to just go choose that image from the gallery now. So that's a new feature. When you are capturing prospects, you will notice that we have changed age. So before, when you capture the prospect, we'll ask you what age is the prospect. We've changed that now to birth date. Right, so that is of value because now you can tell whether people are having their birthday and it'll automatically keep their age up to date. The problem before was you listed someone as 40, 2 years later they're still listed as 40. Now with the birth date, you are able to understand how old they are and also send them a message on their birthdays. So that's of value. Okay, so one of the other features that we introduced is the ability to set a reminder for following up on certain contacts. So if you click on any of your contacts, click on the edit button. If I change, I'll just go next. If I change the status to follow up later, click next. Save the contact. You will see, because I've changed the status to follow up later, I can schedule that follow up. And now I'm able to select a particular date. So let's say I want to contact them at the beginning of August. Change the date. I can even select a time to call them. Submit. And so you will receive a notice on the day reminding you to follow up with that contact. So that is a very valuable feature within the updates that we've done. And then a date stamp appears on all of the contacts. So the moment you edit a contact, the date stamp at the bottom where it says modified will be updated so that you're able to see which contacts you are dealing with or the ones that you've dealt with most recently. So if you go back to the prospect homepage, you will see under latest prospects, you've got the most recently edited prospects listed there. So you can turn your attention to prospects that you are dealing with currently. And those are the latest updates that we've done in the last 2 weeks. As I said, we are updating the app constantly, so always be aware. We will start sending out short video updates with regards to how the app has been updated and what value you can derive out of the feature set that we keep modifying and making better. DuePoint is going to be coming out with new products. The most recent product that we launched created a lot of interest, and that's absolutely wonderful. Perhaps too much excitement, because a lot of wealth engineers then decided that they wanted to start marketing our products, and that is not your mandate, right? And so we have to remain focused on what we do here at DuePoint as wealth engineers. Your mandate, your lane is about talking about the business opportunity. Never about products. Never, ever, ever about products. Do you see the line between white and black? There is no gray area. Under no circumstance may you create any content that relates to DuePoint product. I hope I'm making that clear. You can, at your heart's content, share everything about the DuePoint opportunity, right? And by the way, the DuePoint opportunity offers 1,000-fold what our products do. Think about that. The DuePoint opportunity offers 1,000-fold more than the benefit of the products, right? But nonetheless, DuePoint, Brendan and Rob will talk about the DuePoint products, but you as a wealth engineer may never ever talk about DuePoint's products. It does not matter whether you are a broker, a financial advisor, whether you're a CA, whether you're an economist, you may not talk about DuePoint's products. So I hope that's a clear message to all our wealth engineers. Go do business the best way, and that's about talking about the DuePoint opportunity, not the products. Even though our products are world-class products, let us talk about the products. Just use the collateral that we produce for you. And so, folks, that brings us to the end of the development seminar. I hope it has been informative for you, not with regards to how to use the app, but how to use it for business, right? Any tool is only effective if we know how to use the tool properly. And that's exactly what the DuePoint app is. It can be on every single person's phone, but unless you are honing that tool, that skill in using the tool so that it becomes effective, well, then it is not useful at all. And so this development seminar is about how do we use the app in terms of building our businesses effectively. And so I hope it's been informative for you. Do not keep this information to yourself. Share it with your channel. Embrace the leverage that DuePoint affords you, and get your entire first point on board with the development seminar. Introduce it to every single new wealth engineer that comes on board into your business. This is going to be one of the basic series development seminars for new wealth engineers. So use it, become an expert in the app so that you never have to refer to the development seminar again. You know exactly what's happening in the app and how to use it. I wish you a wonderful Saturday. If you have any questions, we're always here for you. Have a wonderful week. Thank you.